For more than 30 years, the name Will Smith has carried a special weight in Hollywood and far beyond. He has been a source of laughter, action, and hope for people around the world. His life story is one of transformation, from a boy growing up in West Philadelphia to one of the most recognized entertainers on the planet. Few careers have stretched across the many areas of popular culture with the same level of success. Yet behind the bright smile and the effortless charm lies a far deeper and more complicated story. It is not just the tale of a movie star or a celebrity. It is the journey of a man who has touched countless lives, while privately wrestling with wounds that no amount of fame or money could fully heal. At 56, Will Smith's story is a mixture of triumph and hardship. Dreams fulfilled and heartbreak endured. Willard Carroll Smith Jr. was born on September 25, 1968, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was the second of 4 children in a working-class family. His father, Willard Sr., had served in the Air Force and later ran a refrigeration business. His mother, Carolyn, was a school board administrator. The Smith household was a place of both structure and tension. Will's father demanded discipline and held high expectations for his children. At the same time, there were conflicts at home that left lasting impressions on young Will. He has spoken about nights when he would hear arguments between his parents echoing through the walls, moments that left him feeling afraid and uncertain. Those experiences shaped his understanding of family and responsibility. Despite the challenges, Will was not a child who gave in to despair. From an early age, he showed resilience and a spark of creativity that set him apart. Humor became his shield, a way to ease tension both at home and in school. He also found joy in music. Philadelphia in the late 1970s and early 1980s was alive with the growing rhythms of hip-hop, and Will quickly became part of that culture. By the time he was a teenager, Will had reinvented himself as the Fresh Prince, a local rapper with sharp storytelling skills and an infectious personality. Teaming up with his childhood friend Jeffrey Towns, better known as DJ Jazzy Jeff, the pair began performing at parties and local venues. Their chemistry was undeniable. Will's clever rhymes and Jeff's DJ skills set them apart from other acts. Their playful and family-friendly style of rap connected with audiences. In 1989, they made history by winning the very first Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance with their hit Parents Just Don't Understand. Suddenly, Will was no longer just a kid from Philadelphia. He was a star in the world of hip-hop. But fame brought its own challenges. The money started flowing in quickly, and so did the temptations. Will was still very young, and financial management was not his strength. Poor advice and reckless spending soon left him in serious trouble. By the early 1990s, despite having hit songs on the charts, he was nearly broke. The Internal Revenue Service seized many of his assets due to unpaid taxes. For a moment, his promising career seemed like it might collapse before it had truly begun. Just when it seemed like things were falling apart, opportunity knocked. In 1990, Will was offered the chance to star in a new sitcom. That show became The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The series told the story of a street-smart teenager from Philadelphia who moves in with wealthy relatives in California. It was lighthearted and funny, but it also addressed real issues about race, class, and family. For 6 seasons, it captured the hearts of viewers around the world. Will's natural comedic timing and emotional range made him the centerpiece of the show. He was funny, relatable, and authentic. Audiences of every age and background saw themselves in his character. The show became more than entertainment. It became a cultural landmark that shaped the 1990s television landscape. But success also brought pressure. Will felt the need to be perfect, to always provide, and to never let others see his struggles. Even while the world saw him as a rising star, he privately wrestled with insecurities and the burden of expectations. When The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air ended in 1996, Will faced a crossroads. Many television actors fade once their shows are over. But Will had bigger dreams. He set his sights on Hollywood films, determined to become a leading man. The transition was not easy, but Will made it look effortless. Within a few years, he became the face of blockbuster cinema. Movies like Independence Day 1996 and Men in Black 1997 turned him into one of the most bankable stars in the world. Audiences flocked to see his films not just for the special effects, but for his charisma and relatability. The late 1990s and early 2000s were a golden era for Will Smith. He starred in a string of hits: Enemy of the State, Bad Boys, Ollie, I, Robot, and many more. His ability to balance action, humor, and emotional depth made him unique among Hollywood stars. By the early 2000s, he was consistently one of the highest-paid actors in the industry, but behind the scenes, the success came with a price. The higher he climbed, the more pressure he felt. He carried the weight of responsibility not only for himself, but for his family and his legacy. To the world, he seemed unstoppable. Inside, however, he fought silent battles with self-doubt and the fear of failure. In 1997, Will married actress Jada Pinkett. Together, they became one of Hollywood's most famous couples. Their relationship was often in the public eye, praised for its strength, but also scrutinized for its complexities. From the outside, their life looked glamorous, but both Will and Jada carried scars from their past. The challenges of two demanding careers, constant media attention, and raising children under the spotlight tested their bond. They welcomed 2 children together, Jaden and Willow, both of whom pursued careers in entertainment from a young age. Will was determined to be a supportive father, encouraging their creativity and defending them against public criticism. At the same time, he worried constantly about whether he was doing enough. Fatherhood brought both joy and anxiety. Will wanted to give his children the freedom he never had, while also providing the structure he believed was necessary for success. Balancing those goals often left him torn. The shadow of his own father's strictness and the fear of repeating old mistakes haunted him. As the years went on, the pressures of fame, marriage, and fatherhood grew heavier. Rumors about Will and Jada's relationship surfaced regularly, with speculation about separations and unconventional arrangements. Though the couple often presented a united front, the reality was far more complicated. Behind the smiles on red carpets and the polished interviews, there were real struggles. Will later admitted that he often felt like a failure when his first marriage ended, and he was determined not to repeat the same mistakes. But the harder he tried to hold everything together, the more strained things became. The world saw a superstar living a dream life. Will saw a man who feared losing it all at any moment. By the time Will entered his 50s, he had already built a career that few could rival. But in 2022, one moment changed how the world viewed him. At the Academy Awards that year, Will walked onto the stage and struck comedian Chris Rock after a joke about Jada. The incident stunned audiences around the globe. What should have been a night of triumph, Will won the Best Actor award for his role in King Richard, became overshadowed by the slap heard around the world. The backlash was immediate and severe. Media outlets dissected the event endlessly. Social media turned it into a global debate. Will was banned from the Oscars for 10 years, and his reputation was badly damaged. For a man who had spent decades trying to be a symbol of positivity and resilience, the weight of that one moment was crushing. He later apologized sincerely, but the damage had been done. He admitted feeling lost, overwhelmed, and deeply ashamed. For many, it was shocking to see someone so admired break under pressure so publicly. In the months that followed, Will withdrew from the spotlight. He focused on therapy, self-reflection, and rebuilding his sense of identity. For the first time, he spoke openly about his mental health and the years of pressure that had built up. He admitted that much of his life had been spent trying to appear perfect while bearing his true emotions. The incident, while painful, forced him to confront truths he had long avoided. He began sharing more openly about his struggles, not just as a star, but as a human being, a husband, a father, and a son. He poured his energy into writing his memoir, where he revealed parts of his life story that had never been told before. The process was both liberating and frightening. Readers connected deeply with his honesty, finding inspiration in his willingness to be vulnerable. At 56, Will Smith is no longer just the Fresh Prince, the action hero, or the blockbuster king. He is a man who has known both enormous success and painful setbacks. His relationship with Jado has evolved into something less about perfection and more about honesty. They have spoken candidly about their struggles and their choice to grow together despite the challenges. Their love story may not be the fairy tale once imagined, but it is real and resilient. For his children, Will has become a different kind of role model. He no longer tries to present himself as flawless. Instead, he encourages them to embrace their own journeys, to accept mistakes as part of life, and to find strength in authenticity. Professionally, Will continues to act and produce, but with a deeper sense of purpose. He chooses projects that tell stories of redemption, resilience, and hope. He also uses his platform to speak about mental health and the importance of facing one's struggles openly. Will Smith's story is not defined by a single mistake or even by his countless achievements. It is the story of resilience, of falling and finding the courage to stand again. He has shown that even those who seem to have it all are still human, still vulnerable, still learning. His life reminds us that strength is not found in perfection, but in perseverance. Today, Will lives more quietly than in the peak years of his career. He spends time with his family, finds joy in simple moments, and mentors younger artists. He no longer measures his worth by applause, but by the love and peace he cultivates in his daily life. His journey continues to inspire people around the world, not because it is flawless, but because it is deeply human. The boy from West Philadelphia, who dreamed of making people laugh, grew into one of the most famous entertainers in the world. Along the way, he experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. At 56, Will Smith is not just a Hollywood star. He is a reminder of what it means to struggle, to break, and to heal. His life teaches us that no matter how dark things get, it is always possible to find a way forward. Fame and fortune do not shield us from pain, but honesty, resilience, and love can help us endure it. Will Smith's story is still being written, but one truth shines clearly: he has faced unimaginable challenges, and yet he continues to rise.